So, as you are aware, we did some side content because we did not meet last session. All of you guys did indeed level up, and I think it would be interesting if you guys told me what you guys invested in. What did you do to pursue your virtues as your wayfarers?
Didn't get a virtue. So.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, it's every odd, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about
Next level will get a virtue.
This is true.
So I increased my health, add my aptitude point, and I'm able to a new lethal art, which is a thing for the nightshades, where on levels 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12, and 14, 15, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
You get a new ability into a repertoire that you can pick from a selection of 20? No, less than 20.
It's around 20. It's like 18 to 20.
Yeah, 18 to 20 different skills. Some of them are combat based, and some of them are roleplay / deception based. And you'll figure out what's picked later.
It's a fun one. What about you, Wyatt?
I got more health, got another aptitude, got some more stamina, and I now have the ability to reduce our DL. Since we have learned a little more that we can use the DL as a consumable, then I'll be able to, once per day, give us back 2 DL.
Indeed. Yeah. Your DL represents your relative stress point, which you can accrue until your mind breaks. You're able to push this by willing yourself back from the gates of death so that you can get back up should you be dying. If you wanted to re-roll certain rolls, if you wanted to strengthen attacks and push human limits, but you risk breaking your own mind in the process. Normally this can be accrued through various different means of horror and whatnot, but to decrease stress is a very nice ability to have. But Josh...
So I got some things I'm really concerned on using at the current specific point of time. They will come later on, but at the current point in time, I'm not going to necessarily use them. That being said, I also got the increased health and the attribute point. I went ahead and spent that attribute point on Contrive because of how I'm building my character and what I'm going to provide to the party later.
Very exciting. Speaking of, I know some of you guys benefit from charm dice, and as tradition sets, someone might get one from giving a recap as to the events that have unfolded so far within the last session leading up to now. Would anyone like to give a recap?
Wyatt, you haven't done it yet, right?
I also wasn't here for the one shot, but I can give a mainline.
Oh no, not the one shot.
Okay, I can give a mainline.
It is your turn. That is
I will take my turn. Well, you see, last time in the harvest, we started out like we tend to normally do at Warren's office. Everyone's got a little bit different to-dos. They end up heading out, other than Warren, who has a lot of work to do, and that's pretty well all Warren does is work for most of it. We did get our butt handed to us previously.
I was gonna say, that's the reason that Warren needs to work.
Yes, we got our butts handed to us previously, and so we're kind of recuperating after that. Warren's got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of dead folk from a man who just stumbled through town and killed a bunch of people. I named him in my notes He Who Hunts. And he wanted to make Warren specifically lose something, but all of us. Boris, Esna, and the Nameless One all end up heading into town. They walk past Wee's shop, and where Boris stops off first. He gets the rose-colored carpet treatment. The two blooms talk, and Boris tries to convince Wee that he is not a bad weed. He's a good flower, and they take some back and forth. Wee tells him all about the man who hunts, and that he is a powerful individual, so powerful that he essentially uprooted Wee's garden out of the surrounding towns all the way back to Row, where Wee's home base is, essentially. As the Nameless One and Alva, the little girl, continue walking to the library, the librarian, who's got no eyes, empty sockets, greeted them, and then they look for some books to try to teach Alva how to read, but all those books were taken by the church, and the librarian points them towards some storybooks that may help, and they do look at those. They end up with looking at 3 different books. There's hefty prices on 3 normal ones, and then there's one that has no price and no cover. The Nameless One inquired about it, the untitled book, and was informed it is not a good book, and they wouldn't sell it. And if the Nameless One wanted to take it, then they could take it, but just have to know it's not a good book. When a librarian tells you that it's not a good book, you should pay attention, because they know books. But the Nameless One takes it anyways. And yeah, there's the 2 of them end up hearing dripping from down the aisle, and they turn to look as they see someone standing there. Isn't important is the one that's standing there looking at them. TLDR, the party got scared when they walked outside, got slapped around, went shopping, and we have a guy that is going to either hunt us or we'll have to hunt him.
Quite nice. Very succinct. You get a charmed dice, my friend. And we begin where we left off, where, yes indeed, Amron, if you would like to place down your token somewhere near the librarian, this nice fair lady that has eyes in the image but apparently does not have eyes. As I did say before, there is a sound of dripping, which does probably you are somewhere over here-ish.
Yeah. And there was a book that was partially off the shelf, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we'll say it's right here, actually. So you look, the library, it's probably not 1-to-1. This is a random image, but most of these bookshelves are completely empty. Most of the books that are placed on the wall are faux. So finding any significant back cover to it indicates that this is a special book. This is a book that's here. It's not fake. One of those books seems to be over here. It is a blue covered book, slightly pushed out of just the shelf, and it seems to be dripping. There's a pool of, I don't want to say blackened water, but like there's a pool of fluid that's just trickling and building up on this floor. It has been for quite some time. It seems substantial considering that the whole bottom shelf down here, some of the pages that have collected upon it are beginning to mold. Some fungal growths are appearing besides this section of the wall. Nonetheless, like this book, it drips. Alongside that, you can very much hear that a person is somewhat past that structure on the opposite side. You don't really hear any other form of movement within the library outside of that.
All right.
What would you like to do?
So I'm gonna go ahead and walk up to this person, and I'm gonna write in my journal, and then I'm gonna turn my journal to them, and then I'm gonna point at the book. I'm gonna point at the book that's dripping, and what the journal says is, "Did you do that?"
The man turns to you, and very, very clearly, this is the alchemist that you met in the tavern. The man walks out, looks around, turns around the corner. Me? No. The librarian instantly turns her head with a finger up to her mouth. He silences himself and then points to it and then shakes his head and then whispers, "That's been like that since I've gotten here."
I'm gonna write in my journal again. Have you touched it?
I really didn't have an interest in procuring any form of book today. I'm waiting for our meet, which seems to be now. I don't have any desires. Should you wish to touch it, you can pick it up if you want.
Oh my god, this is where the Nameless One's gonna get curious, and she's gonna write in her journal, like essentially like a strongly worded letter, like you would send to, like, you know, like
his manager?
Yeah.
To his would-be manager?
Yeah, exactly. To a manager. The nameless one is going to be a Karen at this point in time and be like, you had this whole entire interesting book. You've been sitting here for like God knows how long, and you haven't even bothered touching it yet. Like, you know, what scholar are you? Like, she's gonna just like write all of this down.
Glaze over as you're just lambasting him. He throws his head back with a sigh.
I'm gonna walk up to the book, and I'm gonna point at him, and I'm gonna point at me, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna nod, and I'm gonna like reach for his hand.
He just smiles and then just shrugs and then follows you at your whims. You're reaching for his hand to pick it up.
I'm reaching for his hand so that we can grab the book together.
If we must. He reaches with you and then synchronously just tries to follow the aim of your hand.
I gaslighted this guy into following me. I just gaslighted this poor soul. Alright, we're gonna grab the book.
Alright, so the book very easily removes itself from the shelf. You find that there's I don't want to say like a what do you call a viscous large amount? There's a decent volume of fluids which flushes from this space behind the wall. It doesn't seem to have any given source, but it falls atop the floor and spreads. The source of the fluid seems to dissipate. As soon as you remove the book, it's as if there wasn't a source of the water coming in to begin with. Very odd. But you now have a book. It is blue, a darkened hue of blue. You don't gain any sense of strange feeling from this book. It is a book, albeit very moist. He just looks at you and chuckles. He raises up a piece of paper with a bunch of scribbles on it that has like a form of algorithm on it. It seems like there's a lot of connections, a lot of circles, a lot of alchemic notation. I was studying forms of alchemy for our work to come to the future. I personally didn't think that this was an endeavor that really took any need of my focus. But I hope that we've climbed to the summit of your... We now have a book. Congratulations.
I'm gonna go ahead and scribble down on a sheet of paper, like in my journal. And god damn it, I feel like I'm gonna have to buy a couple more blank journals from the library. But I'm gonna scribble down on a sheet of paper in my journal, and it's gonna be like, the point of being a scholar, the point of learning is to find things that are curious. It is to investigate the unknown.
I'd say in a general sense that might be true. Maybe a Scriven or someone of a Lexicae might agree with you. Not all facets of the studium within the Collegium focuses on all of these types of works. Personally, I focus on the pursuits of alchemy. Anything else is really not of my interest. But if you find yourself of the Lexicae and their mindset, then I guess all works are interesting. Well, tell me what it's about. What is the title? What is within it? What's of some profound... He just murmurs on as it trolls into the background. You turn the book over left to right before you open it. You find that the title scribbled upon its front page, it's inscribed with a golden lettering. You see The Drowned Maiden is inscribed upon it. You flip it over and you turn the open pages. The book, the pages within it, it's yellowed. This is quite old. Strangely enough, you flip to probably halfway into the book, maybe like the last few pages. The pages are blank. You maybe scroll through it a little bit, and as you're flipping through it and rolling it over, it comes to probably the first like 5-10 pages. Those are filled with something. Would you like to read it?
I would like to read it.
You find that the wording within it is repeated. It is the same thing. There was a girl in the lake. There was a girl in the lake. There was a girl in the lake. Very, very odd, but other than that, that seems what the book holds.
Can I pull out my map real quick? And I know this is gonna take a check because my map's not complete, but can I roll to see if there's a lake nearby this town? And what would I roll for?
Give me a privy.
A privy? I get a +2 inside the library for privy, which...
Your map was a small map, or was it like a medium map? Which size map did you have?
It was a medium map, but it's incomplete. what you told me is that since it's incomplete, technically I would have to go to a cartographer in order to restore this map, but outside of that I have to do a roll for everything on this map. If I had got it completed, I wouldn't have to roll as high, if I remember correctly.
Medium would fall within the specifications of this. Though your map is faded, it would provide sufficient amounts of information to help you out. You're going to get a +4 modifier on this roll, so you can roll 4 additional dice to discern this.
Alright. So /R4.
Liberian is pretty eye sockets.
Fuck! My
Okay.
god! How do you do that? No, man.
What is a lake to begin with? That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, what is a lake? What is water?
The map
water
is so.
body.
The map on your journey over here, sections of brush and fluid coated the exterior, drained some of it, faded certain portions of it. Like, it seems as if there was one. You don't know anything about it. You don't know too much history about the given area that you're in, given that you've come in from a different village entirely. Nothing really sinks in as to the idea of any lake that's even nearby. You haven't heard any tell whatsoever. I will say, you have 6th sense.
I do have 6th sense, yes.
You feel cold. You feel intensely cold, and something draws your attention to the pool of water which now rests beside where this book was dripping. Your eyes might carry towards this direction, and should it, you will find that there is a woman in the reflection trying to reach up through the water, but she seems to be trapped by a barrier. She seems to be in a constant flux of drowning and panic.
Editor note, I don't like that. But
Every now and again, you find that she might flicker out of existence from the reflection, and then beside you, you hear a whisper in your ear. Tell me, what are some of the thoughts going through your head right now?
they are listening to the whispers to see if the whispers have any information as far as to what happened prior. However, right, if it disregards that information that's important, the nameless one is more than likely to play it off as a ploy or a like someone is whispering to me to scam me deal. But they will retain the information.
What you hear is, there is a girl in the lake. There is a girl. There is a girl in the lake. This repeats for probably 30 seconds before fading.
The nameless one will step back from the book that was the book that they opened. They will step back and they will hunch down and hug their knees in the corner because they want to save this girl in the lake. Like, personally, they would prefer to save this girl in the lake because of something that has happened to them prior.
Something?
They are concerned about it because whispers typically mean bad for them.
The alchemist looks towards you with there is relative confusion and fear in his eyes. You find that something is trickling up your throat. You're not exactly sure what it is, but it's becoming hard to breathe. Probably within maybe 3 to 5 seconds, there is an amount of blackened fluid which is flushing from your esophagus out of your mouth. You are now asphyxiating. You will suffocate for 6 seconds. No, 10 seconds is around. And within that time, I need you to take away 10% of your health. After this happens, the water seems to subside from your mouth, and you are able to catch your breath again. Okay. Outside of these events, you find yourself recovering the fluid now out of your mouth, and within a moment you hear some steps coming out from the side of you. It's Esna peeking around the corner before slowly moving back and receding. But you are now able to breathe. The alchemist looks at you with a deep form of unsettled confusion. Was it something that you ate?
I'm gonna write in my journal, it's the book, and I'm gonna point it towards the alchemist, which is not an alchemist, it's an assurance scholar. I know it's an assurance scholar. I'm gonna beat my hand down so many times. I know it's an assurance scholar. It's not an alchemist.
He's an assurance scholar that is a magister of the Alchemicae.
But yeah, I'm gonna point that at the assurance scholar so that he understands what happened.
He's gonna smile and is like, I've surely seen no works that were so horrid that it made me vomit just on sheer sight, but I trust you. I believe in you. Here, he reaches into his pouch, and then there's an arrangement of different tablets that he brings out. There's one that's orange, and if you'll allow him, he puts his finger up with the pill very close to your mouth as if he's trying to usher it towards you. He, like, plops it into your mouth. After, like, give or take, maybe, like, 6 seconds or so, you find that you feel a little bit better. There might have been some discomfort that might have resided within your stomach. Maybe you had a headache earlier that day that increased till now. Most of those things seem to be cured or subsiding. So, back to better business. He points to the book and then points back to the shelf. You said that you could supply me with the things that I need for my work, right?
I'm gonna nod and I'm gonna write down in the journal and I'm gonna pull out the map at the same time and I'm gonna put my finger on a rough location on the map and then I'm gonna write down in the journal, I need to restore this to give you the location that I think that you need, right? And then I'm also gonna put underneath it, do note that this location is very dangerous. I lost someone in this area. I can't necessarily say that it is the best place to go. I think that it has some effect on the mind.
With all due respect, there's no way I'm going to utilize a half-filled map to go to a place that I know is fraught with danger. Especially when a lot of our kind travel along the roads and get killed in myriad. Personally, if it's up to me, I'd like to reside here. My office is not too far from this establishment. I had this person that let me borrow their place. Haven't really seemed to return for some reason. But I've been using it for my studies. I cannot get too far from my instruments, nor can I carry them elsewhere. If you can provide the bodies, because I do need them for this study, it would need to be here. You could deliver them at my abode, or if you have some place that we could pick them up. But I'm sure, as you know, outside the walls are quite dangerous. And I doubt many of the... He quivers. Soldiers here aren't really up to the task with everything going around to be able to escort me to whatever I need. Fraught with danger, sure, but easier ways. I don't need too many bodies anyway. Probably about 10 to 20.
The nameless one is going to write down in their journal, if I can take you there and back, will that cover it?
He pauses for a second and then he goes over his thoughts. I'm sorry, I must decline. There's a lot of things within my work, reagents, agents, most of those things which need to be held within a stable state that I must maintain. And I cannot see myself fit in traversing, especially when everything's been set to bear. My heart tells me I should stay here on the matter.
This is where the Nameless One gets really sinister, man. The Nameless One puts out information about what's going on in the town at this point in time. They will write down the body repository that they have found, and various other things. And they will put it into the journal page, and they will show it to him.
Repository movements?
Like, as far as, like, where the Nameless One had tracked, like, you know, the movement from the bodies to where they rest, as far as the bodies that were maybe killed by the father or not killed by the father, who knows. But from the district that's near the brothel where they were dragged to, right, they will mark that down as a repository within the town, and they will shove it towards them, like, you know, the information that they know as far as where bodies are appearing within the town.
Interesting. I will keep note of this. Thank you. As long as I get my resources, that's all that matters.
The Nameless One looks at them and then looks back at their journal and then writes down the benefit that you gain from doing what you are planning to do, as I've observed this alchemical process and I have deemed it very, very vital. You need to use my book, you need to use me, you need to use various different information that I have, but it will benefit the both of us because I have someone that I need to bring back too.
His eyes narrow. Need is a very strong word, Scholar. I don't need much. I take high intrigue in the works that you hold. What you hold is very ancient, very esoteric, can lead to significant forms of power and growth. I know some things of it. Never would I necessarily dare to read it. But I have the knowledge that I seek. I've dedicated my life to it. I merely need the resources. And with hope, he spurs as it gets a little low. I don't have to resort to rash action by killing some of the individuals here to get the resources that I need. He kind of readjusts himself and increases his voice. If what I am doing serves both of us, then surely you'll let me test out what I have on my endeavors, and should they succeed, I can use them on yours. But if I have the cure to death itself, I don't think I will hold it so close to my breast. For when the deed is done, I do not mind sharing this with you. There's no reason in hiding it.
Within the journal, the Nameless One just kind of like thrusts the journal afterwards. What it will say on the journal is like, and she'll like throw in the wedding rings, like afterwards, like above the journal. And she'll point to one of them, and then she'll point to the other, and she'll point to herself, and then she'll point to both the wedding rings, and then she'll point to herself again. And what it says is like, this is to revive my dead loved one. This is, I need this. And it's just like, I need this like a lot, and then it's just like, I don't think you understand how in tune you and I are as far as this process goes.
He squints at you curiously, like unknowing of it, like, because he doesn't know much about you. He met you within a tavern. The most that he knows is that you're diving into this specific book, which has seemed to catch his interest. I see that you're very focused in your pursuits, and I do want to help you. But it remains. I must work here. And the things that I must get are integral to my work. And though I would like to scrub through the source of knowledge that you hold by yourself, I fear that it might corrupt the project. Maybe it will help. I don't know if I can take that risk. So I probably should keep to what I know. He holds up the algorithm. What I need is 20 bodies. You've given me a location. Seems to be within the town. Fits the qualifications. If I may just go there and withdraw them under cover of night, some clandestine mission I'm sure, I will be able to start my work. In which case, I will be indebted to you, and you will get what you desire. Come to me in a day. And probably mid that day you shall have what you seek. He kind of scribbles down on your piece of paper the location of his abode.
I need you to get this done. I am being forefront with you on this. I need you to get this done because I need this. And that's it. That's all that's scribbled on the sheet. And she is like grabbing onto like, you know, his like, you know, like robes and showing him the journal and just like crying at this point in time. Like,
right there, Scholar. We are in a library here, a place of sacred knowledge. Please carry yourself with a certain demeanor. He can lift you up by your shoulders and catch you up. It's like, have some structure about yourself. No place to unwind, right? Look, I've promised you what I've promised you. And what you're desiring is something that I can get you. Outside of that, I'm not sure what else you want from me.
She'll step back and like nod and like in the knot. She's clutching the rings within her hand. She will just like step back and nod and just like tears are still flowing through her eyes.
We'll reach over and like rub the tears.
She'll look up, and it's like in that sense of like, you know, like I have to give you trust because you're the one lead I have, right? And she clutches the rings more and just shakes her head, and then just like points at the journal to where like the bodies that are being like deposited are at.
Completely understand. And he grabs the side of your head. Just think, pretty soon you don't have a ring. You have a hand of the person that you once knew by your side. Much better than a token, I'm sure. Trust me, this will work.
She'll write down one more thing in the journal. She'll write down, how do I protect this person further from who I am? Because you seem to have some knowledge on what I am. You seem to have some knowledge on what I can do. How do I protect this person further? Because I may have been the one to kill them. And that's like a question mark at the end of that statement.
How did they die? You killed them, but how? It clearly seems that you have regret and you did not mean to. I'm sure you didn't go towards this with any intention, no meditation. How did they accidentally die?
The Nailstone will look down and point at the book, and then point at the location, the rough location of the multiple bodies on the map that she had marked out. And she'll point at herself, and then she'll point at the location, and then she'll point at the air and make a slicing motion.
They were cut down?
She nods a little bit, and then just like all over her body, she'll make a slice with her hand all over the place, like, you know, in like specific segments. And then she'll make a motion of like dispersing, like she'll throw her hands up in the air. I'm sure this requires some sort of language check. Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I am going to roll a sermon. I is going to get a +10 to this roll. So, yes, he'll be able to understand exactly. So, talk plainly. What do you wish to tell him?
So, what I'm telling him is essentially like, I'm not exactly sure. Something that I did within that realm. So, there was something to do with something mental within that realm. And mentally, I have destroyed this person. I drove them into a point to where they can see something that should not normally be seen. And I have essentially given this person the ability to transcend this specific universe into another, and the things of the other universe had torn them apart piece by piece, and they are now dispersed throughout reality because of the fact that they were torn piece by piece in this specific sense.
You could tell that he's trying to maintain a certain composure at the sound of like, at the looks of like what you are displaying to him. He is very unnerved, and it seems as if he has a heightened sense of worry, though he's trying to keep it under wraps. You have a natural 10 dis, right? If you roll, then you
That
can
is
have
correct.
a charm proficiency. Yeah. Okay. Because I know you and Esna have like absurd levels of dis. But yeah, it seems like he's trying to conceal some form of worry. He will reply to you, but you hear half-truths. But like what he tries to say is, this is going to be interesting. Should still very much be possible. The issue seems to be that their soul is displaced, or what some people here call the soul. You're a scholar, so I'm sure you'll understand this term. Are you familiar with the engram and how it works? He's going to pause, and then he's going to say, stand here for me. He like moves you over and stations you like next to like a desk. All right. This needs something else as well. He brings out a flask and fills it with a little bit of fluid from his pouch, and then he has like this tiny little grainy substance that's put under. And it's sitting atop of a piece of metal, a plating that he set there, that's separating it from the wood of the desk. There's this understanding of something called the engram. To the southern tribes, this is known as the soul. No one's really certain as to how it works or if it even exists to begin with, but some people posit that this engram is a metaphysical form of consciousness, something that resides both inside and outside the body. He lights the bottom, the base, atop of the metal structure, and it starts to heat up and boil the flask. You see the water boiling. Every single time that you try to evoke some form of will, you are boiling a pot of water. Your soul, the metaphysical structure on the inside and outside of your body, think of it as chemical reaction, where if I were to purge your brain and you were to move an arm because some part of it was struck, you never really think about going to a glass and grabbing it. You just do it, but it comes from the will in doing so. Very much hexes function in a similar way. Holy people with their books, you with yours. You might not know it, but you took an ice pick to something, and something reached back. Whenever you evoked a part of your will, it might have backfired and took him in the process. And from what you're describing to me, his engram is located somewhere not atop the coil. Might be hard to get to. Not impossible. You could tell that he's telling a very steep half-truth here. But probably something that we can do. First things first, though, we need to make sure that my theorems do work and we can resurrect a body. Then we can focus on how to disconnect your haphazard evocations. Probably we'd have to separate you from that book. Probably would not bode well from anyone close to you, I'm sure.
The Nameless One has a lot of mixed feelings. A lot of mixed feelings. The separation from the book as, they are currently tied to the book. The book is their new life as
Very
they
much so.
understand it, right? They have a lot of, essentially, they have disdain at that statement, but they will look at this individual and they'll give me 1 second. So they will look to them, look down, and then look at them again, and then just scribble in their journal furiously, what am I? Who am I? What am I? I don't understand why this book is so important, why this book is tied to me in such a way. I don't understand anything. I just picked up this book, and I was told to pick up this book by the Whispers, right? And
that is interesting. Carry on.
They do carry on, and they're just like you have more knowledge on this book than I do. Please, please, please give me that knowledge.
He'll smile and nod. You could tell that he's partially lying. And when he says, I know a lot about this book, specifically, you can tell that he's not being entirely certain. But what I have told you is very true. This is a item of legend. The mere existence of this speaks to all the theories and posits that we've made. There's so many things that could be unlocked. That can change many things. That is a key. I would very much like to study that key. I doubt anyone at the observatory has even laid hands on something like this. They wouldn't get the chance to. I'm sure if you offered them the chance to even read it, they would kill probably 100 people just to get their hands on it. Me, I'm not focused on killing. I'm focused on bringing back to life. And while I am interested in it, it may or may not help with the pursuits that I am going for. I'm sure that it has a lot of secrets that can. If you're highly insistent that we incorporate it into the work somehow, then I might indulge within it. But there is not, and this is very truthful, there is not much that I can do to tell you everything about how it works. I do know a decent amount. That is a half-truth.
The Nameless One looks down at their journal and writes down all their half-truths and just points out you're not telling me everything. What am I? Like, what am I? It's written twice and it's underlined, right? And then I do not care if this book is important to the procedure. If it is vital to the procedure, I am more than willing to help with the help of this book. But outside of that, I need to know the full truth and the full truth only on what I am and what I am capable of doing with this book, because this book has been the bane of my existence since I have picked it up. And she's just gonna thrust that in the journal towards him.
This is all that I can say. You provided me with the resources that I need. I must get to my work quite quickly. But since you're so persistent, I'll give you some insight. But anything else must wait till after. A form of trust. I do see this, I cannot lie, as a bargaining chip. You can't get what you want until I get what I want. And I seem to be able to ensure what I want and therefore have the ability to give you what you want. And there's nothing really stopping me from wanting to do so, so it seems like you should trust me. So let me extend the olive branch. What you are is you. All of us are, though some of us more than others. There is an unnatural curiosity about the world and how it functions. Some people call it fate, other people call it other things. There are workings beyond our understanding. Some people would deem this weird. These types of things might have their workings upon our world in the way that we see a lot of the horrors that we see around us. The things that I like to study, for example, homunculi. For you are a conduit. Something has grappled atop of you. I cannot exactly describe what, for there are potentially many things that exist out there, a lot of which I'm sure I can't even conceive nor comprehend. This is a very new field of study, and to be completely frank, you should not tell this to anyone. He kind of lowers his voice. Things such as that would deem you a part of the fratres perfecti, those who are run out of the scholarship under threat of death for the pursuances of their trades. What you hold is something that could very well destroy the world itself and all of existence. Why it chose you? Not too sure, but I'm sure it has some drastic implications for things beyond my understanding. I'm sure I can feed you more information that might pique your curiosity, but that must wait until after I have my wife and child back.
The nail swan writes one down final thing. One more thing down, in the journal.
He looks like he's about to go, but he has a passing eye.
And it's like, what you're saying is, I didn't kill him, but something related to me did, and I'm not at fault. And I'm gonna show it to him.
He tells you, yes, you're not at fault, but you can tell that that's a half-truth. Then takes his coat, puts it over his shoulders, waves towards the direction of the librarian. She waves back, and then he walks out.
The nail swan just crumbles to the ground and just starts crying.
Esna, you could probably hear that.
Did I see the guy leave?
He seemed to pass you eventually.
Okay. So, Esna, in all of their silence, because they just phase while they walk, they will put down the book that they were silently reading to the child and take the child with them as they appear rather suddenly next to the nameless one and kneel down next to them and just wrap them in a hug.
The nameless one will seem standoffish at first, and then, at the point of, the hug being, a thing, just, accept it. And they'll just hold out, the wedding rings, and they'll just point at them, and then they'll, hold them in their hand, and they'll just stare at them, and then they'll look at the vicar, and they'll just look back down at them, and in a sense of it was a half-truth. that they didn't kill the person that they loved. And that, actually, I'm pretty sure that requires something, right, Ty?
I do have a high discernment, but you would have to, I think, re-describe that you were
Yeah.
told a half-truth.
This is a...
I was, you're about to explain.
Yeah, so should you wish to voice this, you do have a phobia and the implications of that going out. But if you wanted to communicate how you do typically via writing, you may. But yes.
I will actually, like, for the first time in forever, the Nameless One will speak.
Oh god.
You gain a disadvantage.
I will gain a disadvantage, but I am able to convey the feelings.
This is how I know it's serious.
And this is the one time that the Nameless One is like this is a very rare instance, but the Nameless One will speak, and they will say, I know it was a lie, but I know that I didn't fully kill them.
How would you describe her voice? She's a she, right?
They should be, yes.
Oh, yes. Let me go ahead and RP that real quick. I know I didn't kill them, but I know that something applied to me was the final blow.
With Esna being this close, you can see her you can see her more under her veil that she always tends to hide under. You can see the porcelain white skin with a bit of a you can see the porcelain white skin with a tint of gray and the stark red curls of hair just tucked underneath the veil. Their eyes that are two different colors just like your own that widen and stare at you, more so just shocked by a number of things, confused, worried for sure. And they'll say softly, and you can see that they have some remnants of fangs themselves, but they're tiny, they're minuscule. They could be ignored entirely as they whisper back to you. Is this worse to know this?
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how the Nameless One would actually react to this.
Unexpected question.
That is a very unexpected question. The Nameless One looks at the Vicar, and they will go ahead and speak once again. I would say it's not worse to know. I would say that it is worse knowing that there's nothing that I could have done to prevent it. It's just what it is.
Esna frowns at this and looks down at the rings. They put their delicate hand under yours that's holding the rings and stares at them with you before embracing you once more. And they ask, what can I do for you right now?
The Nameless One just writes down in a journal, I'm scared. I'm scared to talk so much. This is far going my ability to speak.
They just nod and say softly, I'm glad to have heard your voice.
The Nameless One just writes down, my voice is dangerous. My voice is dangerous. And it's like 2 times and underlined on the second one.
Esna sighs and says, I don't understand, but I do at the same time, considering your vastly different strengths from mine.
The Nameless One just writes down, I wish I didn't have this. I don't know what is happening to me. I need to know what I am. I need to know what I am, and it's killing me internally, not knowing, because there's so many people that I just meet and I can't even communicate with them. And they're good people, but if I speak, then there's a potential that they die. And there's a question mark after die.
Esna just hums in acknowledgement, thinks about it and shakes their head. It says, by the Maker, you have powers I do not understand. And But I do know that, as you said, you never intended to be this way.
They look at the vicar. This is the last time that they will speak.
Oh, no.
Write down.
You hear a voice break through the silence. One of you currently has a book. Her eyes just drift towards the ceiling. If you would like to check it out, please bring it up here. If not, then please return it.
Is that the librarian?
It is. Yeah, she's
Hi,
vibing.
she doesn't have eyes.
She doesn't.
Okay, so
She doesn't.
She also
Hey,
waved at a guy who
ceiling.
waved at her, so.
Yep. Yep.
Isna was acutely aware of the library, its quietness, and its librarian. When the librarian spoke, it's like their spines straightened and like their ears sort of move their veil. Their big fox ears sort of move their veil as they react with a flicker unintentionally.
There's a
And then-
wide smile that comes across the librarian's face when this happens. And she's gonna whisper underneath her breath, "My, what amazing ears." Furry. She's just smiling towards the ceiling.
Now the ears go flat against their head and they can't help it, but the danger sense of the deer side of them, their little fluffy tail goes straight up. Also, when their fluffy deer tail goes up like an alarm, they immediately grab their tail as if they're trying to hide it.
There's a chuckle that resonates. But the librarian is waiting expectantly all the same. Do you wish to
Oh.
check that book out, love?
I'll look to the nameless one and nod to them like, you take the lead.
The nameless one comes down. I would wish to check out these two books.
The Drowned
Oh,
Maiden and the Nameless Book. Do you place these on the register? She has her hand down, just sitting on like a certain section.
I
of the
will
desk.
place these on the register, and then also on top of that, I will write down in the journal for the vicar to translate for me. Is there anything else that you would like me to cover? I would like to solve all of your problems.
Isna looks at this writing and looks back to you with a look of like, are you sure you want to say that?
The nameless one nods.
Okay, then I will translate for them.
She tilts her head to the side, just in anticipation, because she knows that you guys are standing there. Well, if that shall be all, you'll see her grab a stamp from the left, shuffling through her miscellaneous different things. She'll flip both pages.
I did reiterate what the nameless one had written down. I got to mute for a minute.
She'll apply two different stamps on each book. One seems like it's the same seal, it's like a signet. You might have seen the type of symbol on the front of the library, and then the second one just seems like a scratch, like a mark of sorts. She then turns behind her towards two slips of paper. You both can read. What it says are the names. One is the Drowned Maiden, the other doesn't have a name. She then burns both of those, closes both books, and then shoves them towards your direction. And with that, thank you for your business. Have a nice day. She just looks up towards the ceiling.
The nameless one will bow. and
You as
look.
well. Thank you so much for allowing our company. And
Always a
I'll
pleasure.
I'll make sure the child is in tow with us and take their hand.
You are now back within the market district, and from what I remember last time, you were trying to find the purveyor, right? Probably around this time, Boris would be coming back from his stint with with Wee. Whelp is currently still cleaning bodies, potentially. I imagine a lot of things are caked on the walls.
Well, actually, Whelp's dead.
Or Whelp is dead. Sorry, Warren, different character, killed a lot of people.
Yeah, I would say that Warren and everyone else meets up.
You guys gonna
Are you
try and
asking?
blow-
I was hoping.
I am
was hoping-
asking. I'm asking out of the perspective of, like, you know, I'm a character. I don't know.
We can speed forth time. That is something that we can do. We can activate a time skip now to where all of you guys can reunite together. Should you like to
Okay,
find time
so-
where all
So
times
the perspective
Um,
being, we have directed to separate missions. Wyatt is on a separate mission from us.
Wyatt
I
is
think-
on a pending mission, a couple that he's gained for himself.
I think Wyatt wanted to jump in about something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was if I did get to the library before they came out, I would just post outside the door, and I just thought it'd be very funny if I got there in time to see the man walking out. I just tip my little top hat.
There is an odd thing. You've met a lot of different people who have walked past you and had certain expressions upon seeing you. Strangely enough, whenever he walks out, there isn't too much of a scare. You can imagine most people to fall over and then run away, scamper on the floor, or something. Maybe just like be frozen solid, just affixed at your current look. But as soon as he walks out, he just looks towards your direction. There's like a hesitation, like a pause. It's like he's studying you, dissecting you with his eyes. He raises one eyebrow. You're not sure if this is like approval, relative interest, or something, but it's not disgust. He then smiles and then continues walking.
A win for me.
Warren, you have a fuck ton of bodies to clean up, but the rest of the party, this is something for all of you guys to discuss. Would you like to go to the purveyor together? Warren, did you want to stay and clean up while they do that? What do you guys like to do?
I have Rothville for a reason.
You do have Rothfell for a reason. Much as he sighs, he is indeed there for a reason.
I pay him for his This is his job as much as it's mine, okay?
Are you just gonna like pause mid-work and it's just like, I do gotta remind you that I pay you, right? Like, maybe you should earn that, you know?
If he's like slacking off, if he's like slacking off at any time, like, you know I do pay you, right?
I mean, after
You have to work.
17,
You do have to work for that money.
if you wanted to shove that task with a half-true smile.
Finish these last 5 bodies. I need to go.
I mean,
speak to the
technically
purveyor about stuff.
speaking, that's 100% accurate. Capitalism. Let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Money.
So,
No, for sure.
money.
So I want to speak to the purveyor on my own, but I would not mind company going with me until I see the purveyor and I ask for privacy. For the sake of absolutely derailing everything, Esna's gonna look to the nameless one and smile and say, so you wanted to go shopping, yes?
That's true. They want.
This will make him feel.
Are we outside of the purveyor's office, like the building?
The purveyor is probably maybe like a 10-minute walk away. You're on the higher side of the market district.
I think you had mentioned that there's a chance the purveyor is in the market because that's where he likes to.
Yes. No one has if you were to ask someone what the purveyor looks like, even yourself knowing most people, you've never laid eyes on Framboyo. You know of him. You know of him very well. But like most of the people don't exactly know where he is, or like you go through the seekers and then they will maybe take you to him, or they will give you back word from him, or they'll just be like a messenger on his behalf. I speak for the purveyor. But he mainly goes through his, like, he's not against meeting people, but he just reclusive on certain days.
So I could ask. I could ask one of the seekers. I would like to speak to the purveyor, have him meet me in the market, basically.
Would you like to go to the Seekers Guild to do this?
I'll see what the nameless one says first.
The nameless one writes down in their journal of, like, you know, they are of nobility. They do have a specific understanding of how a purveyor works. They understand as a noble of the
I will
Countess
clarify.
noble, which is
You
under
know how a
purveyor.
purveyor works, but every purveyor is a little bit different. This is the one town that is functioning probably well different than a lot of towns do. So the purveyor may or may not be.
Job. Typically speaking, just understanding a purveyor.
I will say, with all due respect, this conversation I need to have with them is about my work as the vicar of this town and their work as the purveyor. And You do not work for my town, and also you've had a very, very long day.
The Nameless One writes back, like, one of those things that, like, I understand that this is you and the Purveyor thing, but I've done a lot of work for you as far as evidence, and I think that maybe, perhaps, I have a say in what's going on between you and the Purveyor. And she'll just write that down and show it in the journal.
Esna will read over the book, and you'll see sort of a solemn expression come over them, and they'll look to you and say, "It's not evidence I need. The evidence is we need more before we fully present it. What I'm going to talk to them about is about what the vicar has been sending to me and the future of this town. At this time, I don't believe I need your assistance. This is matters of the church."
The Nameless One recoils back at, like, the church statement and just writes down in the journal, "I understand, but if you need anything from me, I think I can provide some help." Right, and they'll show it to the vicar.
Esna will smile. They'll read that and then give you a reassuring smile and say, "I'll consider it. Maybe not for this conversation, but a conversation to come once we have everything we need."
The Nameless One will write down, "As you know, I cannot speak freely. This speech to you has detrimented me in various manners, and I would wish that you use me properly in these courts. That being said, though, I am on standby for usage, even if that's an observance between you and the Purveyor."
They nod thoughtfully to this. Kai, I know we had talked about the importance of my conversation with the Purveyor and how to carefully navigate my wording.
Very much so. You don't exactly know the stance of the Purveyor currently, so it's good to tread with caution.
Yeah. I know if I were to approach the Purveyor with, "Father Benedict is corrupt," that could be absolutely detrimental. But if the Nameless One were to,
how you tread is completely up to you. There's no way to guarantee anything. Like, you've never met the Purveyor, you don't know their stance, you know a lot of the things against you, potentially the whole entire church, multiple sectors of the church, people in high power due to the church. You're not sure. Like, your mind drifts towards the idea that maybe the Purveyor is in the pocket as well, but they also may not be. Like, you're not certain, but like what you're saying is true. Like, to reveal such a thing to show that you're in opposition to like something so like treasonous, like that it could be something super good, it could be something super bad. Unfortunately, you do not know unless you try.
So if it were presented in the idea of this visitor of the town or citizen of the town at this time has alarming suspicions, do I have an idea of if that would be a cautious way to go about it?
Purveyors have a lot of power. And like I said, purveyors can vary from one to the other. But generally speaking, imagine if you went to someone who is like the leader of the underworld. And you were just like, "Hey, look, someone's been robbing my store. I'm just a normal citizen here. I gotta stop this from I'm gonna go to the cops." Like, you might end up dead. You might have a stern slap on the hand and like a cut to your business in terms of profits. It might like he might be of like a rival gang that might help you out. Like, you're not sure. Like, it's anything can happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's what I needed. I know, as you know, my main concern with the conversation of the Purveyor is how to move forward in teamwork with him when talking about my duties to the Hive.
For sure. Yeah, if there's anyone who might know, it'd be odd if the Purveyor doesn't.
Yeah, that's my main focus. Less so about Father Benedict at this time and more so about let's not have a purge happen.
you're Yeah, because the big threat indeed, if word of everything that's been happening in the town comes out to the full extent of how corrupt your town is, so to speak, a full-on purge would potentially happen. Would you like a shopping, or would you like to go see if you can talk to Purveyor? Like, what are you feeling?
I think, how about someone do a 1d2 for me? 1, we go to the Seekers Guild. 2, we go to the market first.
/R 1d2? 2.
All right. I'll look to the nameless one and give them a nod of thanks and say, well, while I consider things, how about let's go to the market and see if there's something you can find for yourself.
The nameless one instantly disregards himself. They will point to the low girl. They want to essentially provide the low girl with a new fit. So they stroll the shopping district and provide the low girl with. They're pointing at different things for the low girl.
Okay.
There are many different market aisles. You could definitely tell the stores that have any form of worth to them, and some which are only reserved for higher forms of nobility. Is there any particular one that catches your eye that you would like to go to, or are you letting her decide which one seems of interest as you're window shopping?
I want her to decide.
I'm gonna keep an eye out on the crowd while also keeping along with them. Maybe try on different hats for Boris, because I'm curious. But go on.
Boris will scoff at any hat that you propose. He has the best one. And after this, he will, in low tones, say, while you are here, I'm going to go back and see how our friend is doing. He may need help, and I may need a snack. And the bush will tromp off. Back to...
There is many different things that you guys pass. Different outfits in various different conditions. You see that she looks at what is familiar to her. It's not like downtrodden clothes, but it's like moderately mid forms of lower forms of life within this town. She gravitates towards certain types of looks. She looks at the more gaudy stuff and it does attract her, but like, for the most part, she looks at some of the things that remind her of something, especially certain hues and colors which are reminiscent to the ones which, from what you've seen, were apparently her parents, what her mother used to wear. She points at one within a store, the man fixated on jotting down notes, looking annoyed every now and again, and looking back down at his notes while scribbling again and counting things. Eventually he does notice your presence and then drift his eyes towards you in curiosity. Oh! You seek to buy something, right? You are looking to buy something, right?
The Nailson writes down in a journal, essentially to the...
Oh, no. Can you talk? Are you lame?
The nameless one actually speaks. Yes, I can talk. I don't like it. And she shies away from the storekeeper.
You feel an overwhelming sense of dread that almost compels you to flee. But I will allow you to roll a grit contest in order to remain and fight it. It's a normal contest. You do have disadvantage.
Do I need to roll this too?
You will succeed. No, you're fine. You are now blessed. A +2 damage dice on your next main action. Upon your turn.
What the
Should you wish to fucking cut this guy's head off?
Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Slaughter.
Grab his eye! Fucking gouge out his throat! No, like...
I'm gonna kill him!
Waterboard him! Yeah, but like, he just looks at you. You have a strange murderous look in your eye, but he smiles at you. No. But yeah, no, he's, it's like, finally, okay. Do you want to buy something? Did she want to buy something? He kind of looks down. Did you want to buy something?
I'm gonna point at the little girl, and I'm gonna point at the dress that the little girl was looking at. And I'm gonna point at myself.
That
And
is the
I'm gonna
fourth
present
module of
a
our
money-
teaching.
A money bag.
Well, I'll have you know that this is pricey in terms of craftsmanship. I mean, normally it wouldn't be that much, but considering the resources of where this came from, this right here, it's not the exact model. I will tell you firsthand, it is fake. It is modeled after the 5 ladies of a land not too far from here. Yes, the town of, and then it goes on for maybe 5 minutes of very
God,
boring,
no.
fucking, and like he is about to start again and go into another 10 minutes.
Another quick contest to prevent this. Like,
can.
what the fuck do I roll to prevent this? Like,
In a-
what?
Roll a,
In a-
yeah.
In a
Attack.
silent
Roll Baylor.
mirage, Esna is suddenly standing next to the nameless one, staring at this salesperson curiously.
His eyes are fixated on the little girl and you, and then after a moment, his eyes trail to the left as he sees like the color of your robes. Like it's just like, or the lack of. It's just like you wear black robes, right? If I'm mistaken.
But no, I wear white right now.
White. Okay. The rays of sun instantly bounce off of this and hit his eyes, and he jumps to the side and nearly falls over. Like the coat rack knocks on the floor and scrapes some of the press's linens and silk. And he starts screaming. He's like, "Oh no! That was 5 years in the making."
This fucker. Oh my god.
And then, as I'll distract him while the nameless one's helping the child. I'll just walk over to the person and very like gingerly reach down and go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I start with you?"
Vika.
Jesus fucking Christ. Alright,
Vika.
what I roll?
I've not seen you too much. It's a pleasure to see you, Vika. Thank you for showing me your presence. He's distraught.
And I'll say,
Thank you for showing me the errors of my ways and being greedy in the precious materials I slaved my life to obtain.
Oh my
I'll
god.
sort of pat
Oh my
this
god.
man's head and smile, and I say, "Very good, child. It is good to hear you say these things."
Make a be, I have sinned. Never again. He just slowly stands up. There's like a moderate tear.
Step to the side to face him with a still bright smile and just be like, "You were telling such a fabulous story of the legends you've heard. I would like to inquire more."
Yes, the great lands of Astera! And he just goes on for another 20 minutes.
No,
He's
not
just-
20 minutes.
No.
You can interrupt him at any point and he might look very confused because you said that you were dying to hear about the legends and lore of the Linens.
I will stay there until the nameless one is done.
He stops after 20 minutes and pause. He looks very like something is just a spiritual experience just went through him.
Sits out a crown and just slides it towards the man. And it's just like, please kill me. Like just slides it towards the man.
You
And it's
know,
just
most
like,
people run
"Give me
away
that
from me
thing
after
or
like
kill
2
me."
minutes of talking.
Like that's the nameless one's reaction. Is just like slides down a crown. Like it just is. You know what? Give me that, or kill me. One of the two.
The second
Please.
it fades, their gaze sharpens, and they look back to the man and smile and say, "It is by Maker's light that I have patience for every
And
person in this
interest.
town. You are no
You
different."
seem to very much care about my stories, Vika, and you filled my heart with joy. And you see, like,
Oh my!
he vibrates in a
Has their hand on the nameless one's crown and goes,
money.
"Oh, look, someone wants to buy
Good for the
from you."
store. Which one was supplying the currency? It'll actually be 3 of these.
I'll step to the side so the nameless one will.
Very nice, very nice. This regal adornment. Rather, I have a better one in the back of the shop just for you, Vika.
Is it the same
Uh-huh.
price?
Well, I guess for you, Vika, it could be cheaper. For a little bit, I guess.
The nameless one is looking at Vicar like,
I can remove a
"Hey."
crown. Sure.
The vicar
For the lovely lady
seems-
on behalf of the vicar.
the vicar seems. Well, I guess they would be used to that, and so they would smile and say, "The Maker bless you, child. You and your hard works and your long travel." Let's see this one from the back and see if the child likes it anymore.
He'll bring the child and usher her forward like this is the grandest exposition. Years in the making. Many people travel lands to probably not see this, but you guys sure did. As you enter this room, find that there's a bunch of different varieties of cloth adorning the walls. There's 3 mannequins holding different types of outfits. In the center, it is the most regal thing ever. The girl's eyes trails away. This is the one royal item that he has within his shop. The other 2, one is of the model that you've seen, the other is this Royal Navy thing, but he looks at the one that is a model of it. This is crafted from even finer silk. He might usher you to touch it, and if you do, you might find that there's like a nice felty feel to it. Has a form of comfort. You've never felt such texture before, but there's a certain form of vibrancy that also comes from it. But he offers it, and he says, "Does this look better?"
I glanced to the child. What is the child more interested in? You said their eyes sort of drift away from it.
Yeah, her eyes drift away from like the more regal attire and like the fairly decent regal one that's also on the left. She does still look at the one that is very reminiscent of the one that you were just looking at, and it does seem to be more exquisite.
I will sort of coo and awe at the one that he first offers us, and glance at the child very quickly and then back to him and say, for such a gracious discount that you have offered us, I think I wouldn't want to take something so precious.
But it is made to be worn. It'd be a sin not to. He looks at the child. Don't you want to wear something to like to the vicar itself? Let me talk to you about morality. Like he then looks at the child. He's like, don't you want this amazing item? He's upselling this child.
The vicar thinks for a moment and says very gingerly, but isn't wearing something more modest less sinful? And then very quickly the vicar grabs the one that the child was looking at and says, I think this is perfect.
But Vicar, there's a thing around here. If you want modesty, I do have some potato sacks over there.
The thing
This is
around.
a place of fashion. You should indulge if you want to buy anything, to look your best, to go where your soul calls to you. And he whispers under his breath, to also give me a little bit of money.
You will get money one way or another, my friend. Good child. And they smile and just say, I will cherish the fact that you showed us the best of the best back here. And I look to the nameless one pointedly, like, quick, pay this man.
She'll like usher forth the amount of money, just like spring into his face, just trying to like give it. Oh, I thought you meant the little girl. Sorry, the nameless one. Sorry.
What'd you say?
The nameless one just throws it out. The money to pay the man.
Like
it'll cost 2 crowns.
Like feed for a chicken. Go get it.
Yep. All right.
Wait, do you chuck it on the floor?
Got it. In order to make this child not simp worthy.
No, we don't chuck it on the floor. Just a funny thought.
Still like a chicken to feed though. He will very gingerly. He'll just like wrap his hands around it and just shove it close to him. This'll do nicely. This'll keep me going for a few days. I'll tell you what, with everyone croaking nowadays, no one's really left to buy clothes. Could have gone anywhere, but you came here. That means a lot, Vicar.
Esna like kind of deflates at everyone dying.
Oh, don't worry about them. They probably didn't have nice clothes. Nice clothes will keep you immortal. He looks back at the girl. If you wanted to buy that other one, I'm sure it might do it for you.
Oh God, what was I gonna say?
This fucking merchant teaching a little girl, clothes make you immortal.
Yeah.
If you wear...
Your parents, they died because they fucking wore trash.
They were wearing Balenciaga, alright?
Dude, you gotta be... If you want to be supreme, dude...
Well, I mean, if they were wearing some like
Chanel
plate, they may have survived.
True,
It's
and
not a
you know
scam,
what?
I promise you.
And steel plate is more expensive than clothes, so Wyatt's right.
Oh, fuck, I forget what I was gonna say now. Esna will pipe up again and say, who do we have the honor of visiting today? What's your name?
Oh, my name is Periwinkle Poplopetish Skottop, and the fourth is my name. Second in my line. Next to my late father, actually.
I nod along as he says the entire name.
As a note,
You're familiar with my legacy.
Bob the Merchant. He's getting Bob the Merchant. That's what he's getting.
Bob the Merchant, Periwinkle.
What? No, Ty, send me that name so I can add to my note.
Fuck you, Jai. Fuck you, write all that out. Make sure you write that all
There we
out.
go.
I need his titles as well.
Oh yeah.
Do that.
Poppy Periwinkle Shemponakanala, the fourth, the third of his name.
There's gonna be an actual phonetical written thing. That's just gonna be like, yep, that's an accent grave over this E.
He actually has accents over 75% of his last name, so...
You will hear something kind of chime up strangely as you guys are doing business. You hear a "Oh God!" and then if you do you look behind you at all, or do you just maintain not trying to give any form of attention?
I have one question.
Yes,
Did it sound like pain or excitement?
it's hard to tell.
Because if it's pain, then you know I have to look. But since it's hard to tell, I will at least humor the man a little longer, smile, and with a moment of great wit, I would say, "How could I not know your legacy?" And then turn and look to see where the fuck that sound came from.
You will see across the street a man just kind of scooping off sections of his body, just kind of moaning to the sky. Would anybody like my grease? Because he's like getting in a crouching primal stance. He's kind of rubbing on his rib cage a little bit, grinding on it.
I want this dude.
I knew it was gonna be greased up guy. It's okay.
He returns.
He's alive. Fucking the hunter of hunters did not fucking kill him. Or the one that hunts.
Why
did not
didn't he
kill him.
claim him?
This
Of all
guy
people.
is definitely a wayfarer.
I'm telling
He
you,
killed
he's the
Nora,
walking-
but not Grease Guy. Cool.
I'm telling you, he's the walking fire hazard. That's what he is.
Oh, I didn't even know if old Tom is dead. Fuck.
Esna tugs at the nameless one and just says very quickly, under their breath, "You know, torches nowadays are very, very helpful. If you brave that man, it actually might not be a bad idea."
I'm trying to control my breathing, Vicar. The last thing I want him to do is step into my shop.
I was talking to the nameless one, but knowing Periwinkle, he probably would answer anyway.
Periwinkle is currently just frothing at the mouth as well that you said that you care about his lineage.
I'm going to nod to Periwinkle and say, "Yes, quite. Well, me and mine should see ourselves out, so that way we don't attract the man over there."
Just whatever you do, walk slow at a rate of 1 mile an hour. Don't breathe. If you stand still enough, he will not notice your existence.
Do not breathe air.
It's very important that you hold your breath. Let it be known from Periwinkle himself that he said this.
Periwinkle has two rules. Wear nice clothes and don't breathe air.
Is the greased up death guy like half T-Rex or something?
He's not even dead.
He's like hunched over and just kind of rubbing with his fingers in his ribcage.
Oh my god.
Primal stance.
I love the grease.
Esna smiles and nods to the man, and then as they leave the shop, they do that flicker in and out of reality again.
He looks as he hears something, and then you see, if you teleport away, you see his head jut towards like Periwinkle and his eyes squint. You hear a scream from inside of Periwinkle's office as the man starts to slip and slide towards Periwinkle's. You hear a loud, "No!"
Just doing a shimmy. The shimmy over. Come here, Periwinkle. I want to give you a hug.
While he's walking across the street, he's rubbing his chest. I'm not I'm not even going
Amazon
to.
is looking
help.
at all this like, what the fuck is happening in this town? Like, what the fuck?
This
What
is the second time we've met this
disgusting.
man, okay? You can't be saying
no,
what the
no,
fuck's
no,
going
no.
on.
It's just like, what the actual living hell is happening right now? What?
It's just
It's just Grease. It's a perfectly
just Grease
normal
guy.
guy.
The greased up
No,
guy.
he's
Yeah,
not
no,
normal.
it's
He's not
perfectly
deaf.
acceptable. Yeah,
He's not normal. He's kinky. Okay, we all know.
The meme you posted.
oh my god.
It's a little girl, her fucking expression.
Oh my god.
Um.
This one's just like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, the name of someone, like, the expression is just, like, a continuous, like, if you were to have a dial-up modem, that's what it is. It's a dial-up modem.
Well, you now find that there is a long snail trail originating from the other side of Periwinkle's establishment. But we can now skip time ahead, should people desire. Is there any other shopping that you guys would like to do? Do you guys want to head to the Purveyor? You want to get together first? What's everybody's... Oh, wait, Boris! You
Boris
arrived
went to check on Warren.
at
Yes.
Warren's office. I'm sure the bodies are a lot cleaner, but as blood and grime and viscera caked to walls is, it's hard to get out of things. Rothwell seems very annoyed just in the yard. He drifts his eyes towards the bush that seems to be potentially moving. Every now and again, I'm sure probably stopping periodically. As he checks his glasses, he goes back to scraping up leftover entrails.
fuck.
You'll just hear distant violin music just progressively get closer.
Oh wow. I thought they'd be talking to the Purveyor longer than this. Okay. They're on their way back already. I'm gonna stop digging the hole that I'm digging for this grave. Deep into this hole. So I guess I'm only seeing Boris coming toward me. What happened to the other two? I'm gonna why they have come back without the other two.
They were in the market, trying on clothes and such. I don't really need anything.
Few hours, I'd imagine.
Take a few hours. I've dug 3 of the graves and working on the 4th. It sucks.
It's very important to keep the bodies separate. You know, of the different horrors that you must face.
Were they able to talk to the Purveyor before you came in here? Do you know? Boris?
No, they were heading that direction and then they stopped to shop. I think they were coming back here before going there. I'm not entirely sure. It's a bit confusing.
But they come all the way back here to go back out there to talk to the Purveyor whenever they're already out there. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's not.
We played violin for the rest.
Well, you're here now. If you like to do your usual helping of bodies, you can. There's quite a few that need to be dug up or put into the ground. So you can. Some of them are already separated for you. But the individual was pretty brutal, and there's a lot of viscera with some of them. So if you want, there's already guts and or other things out and about.
He's happy to help a friend. As the eagerness bleeds from his voice. And I'll head over to wherever the one that looks the most difficult to handle. Like, you'd have to scoop him into the grave with a shovel and just glurp him.
Yep.
Would that be a smoothie for you?
Well, since it's kind of
Yogurt.
cut up, I was thinking more of like a Bloom charcuterie board.
Sound effect. Does it sound like?
Yeah, it sounds like you were trying to get the last bit of the yogurt out of the bottom of the cup.
with a straw? With a straw.
Not like a little straw either. It's like one of those boba tea straws.
You said a charcuterie board, so my mind went to Boris being like, a little bit of intestines here. Delicious.
And it'll shoot out and like skewer them.
Yeah. Ooh, an eyeball.
Just hear it pop. Gnashing of teeth.
While you go about your business, how's Rothville doing? Has he cleaned up a majority of the stuff, or is he still fucking?
He's doing his best. He's probably on like the last 3 of the 5 bodies that you've tasked him to handle.
Okay, cool. I guess I will continue digging this grave up. Because from what Boris has said, and I don't know any different, they're coming back here at some point. So I gotta keep working. I gotta get these graves dug so there aren't random horrors just around in the city. So yeah, I'll keep continuing digging the graves, waiting for them to return.
I will say, this is a very real. It's not guaranteed, but like if proper burial rites are not given, there's a variety of different undead and spirits that can emerge alongside just like if enough flesh and like dead or decaying matter is left together, it can also spawn potential things. So you are doing a great service to the town with what you do.
I got the burial rites for the Mother of Crows on deck, ready to go. Lydica's gonna get a lot of fucking incense and smoke and other things going towards her today. You got it, Lydica. Keep going. Shiny thing on the eyes of the.
Boris, you see the world in a much paler tone. You've never really noticed this before, but you see that there are a lot of floating flames, the same ones that you saw prior, but like a lot of the bodies are gone. The floor is mostly cleaned. Each one seems to grow hotter whenever it's their turn. Every single time that Warren gives a certain form of ritual, a certain form of rites, words that he's speaking underneath his breath, you're seeing these flames form into some human or mortal adjacent type of humanoid structures. These creatures, some of them seem to be deeply in tears, some of them seem to not be, some of them filled with anger. As words are spoken and as rites are dealt, you see them slowly lift off the ground. Their trembling that they might have is starting to subside. They seem to be drifting towards a certain location. You're not exactly sure where, but it is a form of sliver. It's like if you cut a piece of paper, there's a hole within the fabric of reality, something bleeding this smoke of white. The rest of the area that's behind it is fairly dark, but this one spot is brighter than anything else that you've seen. These forms, almost as if in line, slowly drift towards this before blinking out of existence every single time that Warren finishes a rite. You also feel something odd. Every single time that he invokes the name of Lydica, for a second it's like you're seeing a figure, but you can't exactly make out its face. For a second it might be like there's 10 faces, or even a single face. It's hard to tell exactly. Multitudinous wings. This figure, for a second, seems as if it might be 20 feet tall. But yet all the same, your eyes fluctuate behind seeing a tall figure that is no bigger than 10 feet, standing behind Warren. They don't move, they don't speak, but they are there nonetheless. They slowly turn towards you, and then they vanish.
I'll finish my first guy, and then I'll just drag the next one over towards where Warren is working, and I'll say, did you know about, it was a lady, right?
It seemed to maybe be feminine. It was hard to tell. I mean, it could be masculine. You're really not sure.
Okay. Did you see the person?
What person?
Just as he's munching.
What are you talking about? Was there a person in the graveyard other than myself and Rothville?
He'll nod and say, yeah, the one that helps you with the burials?
Rothville?
No. Not that one. The other one, the tall one.
The tall one.
What's their name?
What are you talking about? It's only myself and Rothville that are here. There's nobody else that helps me with the burials.
He'll go quiet for a little while, and then after a few moments, he'll say, So you don't see the big tall one that stands behind you after you bury them? Especially after you burying the angry ones?
No, there's no one behind me usually. I mean, other than if there's like a family member, but no, I don't see any tall individual behind me whenever I bury them. Are you okay, Boris? Did you eat somebody weird?
You'll hear the chewing stop, and then the bush will rustle around, and then like an arm will flop out, and the tendril will poke at it, and jut side to side as an eyeball appears on the side of the tendril, and say, "Nope, looks pretty normal," and another tendril will snake out, grab it, and wrench it back into the bush as the chewing continues.
Okay, yeah. No, there's nobody behind me whenever I do my burials. It's just me and Rothel here. He helps with as you know, he helps with the bodies, and I perform the burial rites while I'm both digging the grave and putting the individual into it.
Again, as you're digging, you'll be silent for a while and then say, It was when I came back from the brink I got this site. It's that same site, right, Ty?
Yeah, those who experience death's door twice or hover around death quite frequently might pick this up. You're now able to commune or see with what the gray is.
Oh, so then would myself be able to, since I deal with death, or no?
Strangely enough, no.
Okay.
As Boris finished chewing, he'll say, "Ever since we died, when that bad man came by,
Yeah.
it hurt our eyes, I think. I see it all a little differently now."
You might just be in shock from getting close to death, bud. So it might go away in time, but if it doesn't, maybe speak to Esna. They may be able to help out with some healing waters or healing remedy to help out with your eyes or something along the lines. Or maybe even speak to we, since they are also a bloom. They might be able to help out with whatever's going on with your eyes. But yeah, there's nobody that is behind me whenever I finish up my burial rites or whenever I finish putting somebody into the ground.
He'll kind of scoop the side of the dirt and keep it from going back in the hole as you're shoveling it out, just with like a few tendrils. And he'll say, I did talk to Wee, and Wee told me that it was some good thing."
Oh, okay. Maybe it's something that happens to blooms when they die or get close to death. Maybe this is something that's natural for you guys, since you are made up of a bunch of dead bodies.
Boris,
of the sort.
you're drifting on these words, but like every now and again, like you can't help but every now and again just to look to the left or to the right. There's like ravens and some crows like just sitting behind Warren. They're just perched on different gravestones, but it's more than you've normally seen.
I can't get rid of the fucking birds.
Warren is probably used to it. The idea that this place is like it's a place. Ravens are here. What the fuck ever. But like generally speaking, like you've never come too much in contact with as many ravens as now.
Whenever I look around, are they the same amount of ravens, or is it just the ravens that are actually real that I can see?
You will see half as many.
Do they all look the same, or do some look spectral?
Some look, I don't want to say spectral. Like you can tell that something is off about them. They're not ethereal and transparent, but there's something unnerving about their visage. Like I don't want to say that some have 3 eyes, but there's just something that's uncanny about how they look. They're not natural.
Some of them seem to be more sentient than the others and are staring
Yes.
very articulately.
Raven, like anything of the Corvus family, is highly intelligent, but these seem to be a different breed.
He'll take and ponder on this and say, "Do you see things? Different things than what other people see?"
I think so. I mean, I feel like I see a lot of the same things that others see. Maybe I perceive something slightly different, but nothing big. Warren's a little bit still just confused about what's going on. It's like, I don't know what's going on, Boris.
Oh, that makes two of us. But Boris will nod, and he'll say, sometimes when I eat a corpse and get its eyes, I do have a different view, but this is like it's all of them, all of the eyes. They're different.
It really might just be because of how close to death you got. Is that like a known thing, Ty? Or is that something that isn't really discussed about before?
Ancient tongues are incredibly rare. People generally don't read books, so unless you just had someone that was very, very keen on superstition, someone who was a scholar, you might not know too much about it. Other than Universalis, the normal tongue that you speak, the idea of speaking anything like apocryphal or something is very alien to you.
But so like the idea of one close to death seeing things that are not of this mortal coil is not well known / is myth, quote unquote.
I will say people will associate that weird things happen if you're around death. Like maybe if someone died in your house, maybe something like this could be true, this could be untrue. People have this feeling that there's an association. You have your own superstitions. Whether you understand the complete intricacies behind like a very layman level, it's completely up in the air.
I mean, we know that there are spirits and ghosts and stuff like that as horrors. Those have been documented, correct?
No.
Okay, we wouldn't know that. Okay.
An assurance scholar, maybe. A black hand or something.
I don't know what to tell you, Boris. There's nobody here that I can see other than myself and Rothwell and you. I don't know what's happened, but I would talk to Esna. I mean, you've already spoken to Weeb. Maybe you want to talk to Esna and maybe the Nameless One. Don't let them hear this, but they're smarter than me. And actually know what those weirds may be able to actually read something about what you're talking about with those weird symbols that they have in books, the weird scribbles that they have there.
He'll pause for a long while, and you probably get a good bit of your grave done, and he'll say, can you teach me that prayer of the words you say when you bury one of them?
The burial rites to Litica? Yeah. It's
yes. Are we allowed to know that?
They're sacred in my way of work, but they're not.
Yeah, it's so like it would be like, for example, this is real. For example, like the idea of you saying goodbye. Everybody says goodbye, but the origin of that used to be God be with you. No one uses it like that at all today. But like when you were to leave the castle walls, that's what you would say. So like we have a lot of words today that are derivatives of many different, like this version, now that, until it obfuscates it completely. But people just say goodbye, but it carries the same meaning. So it's based in tradition, it's fluid, it's leached into your line of work. So you know it, but the weight of it and what it carries, what it truly represents, that might be lost on you.
Yeah, so like it to me, it is just a aspect of my job, and it is not something that is huge to me. It's like, yeah, it just happens. I just say it. I mean, yeah, I can teach you. There's nothing prohibiting me or banning me from doing that. We speak the Mother of Crow's name, Litica, and ask them to bless the traveler to in their domain and guide them to their final resting place amongst their flock. And then we take out a few shiny things, as more than likely some signum or other stuff like that, which are of value, and give them to the departed before covering them with the dirt, and or if they have a coffin, nailing the coffin shut, to give Litica and their crows something to guide them to this traveler, to bring them with them.
The crows are belonging to Litica?
There's a lot of, my father described it as either crows or ravens, but Majoritively, it's as she is the mother of crows. I see crows as the representatives of her, or at least her animals to help guide the departed. So she is the mother, quote unquote, to be of all the crows in her domain, and maybe even in this domain. But there's, I mean, other than like a few individuals, there's not much to say that any of this actually works. It's just part of the job, that I say.
It works. He says this with pure confidence.
What?
It works. When you say it, then the person appears behind you and the spirits calm down. I can see them.
So you see the spirits of the people that I'm putting in the ground, and then you see a tall individual or something like that after I speak this prayer.
After a moment, he'll say, I see them. The bodies. We see like their breath. It's might be, and he'll shuffle over to a near one and point at its does the mist or the glow emanate from like their head?
It seems to originate from their core and go out like a network of veins, only there's a drastic large amount to the point of where it looks like just a pure floating orb of light within the center of their body stretching out within them.
He'll snake tendrils over top of this guy's torso and like pull the tunic back in his stomach.
When you touch this, like you do touch it, right?
Yes, yeah.
As soon as you touch this, everything turns black. The whole entire environment around you turns completely black, and you feel this abysmal form of cold. You're now looking through someone's eyes. The room, or the area around you, currently people are running left to right. You feel like there's this massive bout of fear within your stomach. You can barely breathe. It's almost as if you're suffocating. You see one person standing across from this figure, which you deem the hunter. And suddenly, within a blink of an eye, their body is now just cut into thousands of pieces, instantly splattering against the wall, painting the whole entire wall. Then you see the person look to this person. You are staring directly into the eyes of this individual who's looking at you. Your breath begins to flow heavily, and you hear these thoughts. Brother, I am sorry. I will not be able to come to see you this winter. It's time to... Instantly, you see nothing. And then suddenly, you're back to your normal vision, touching the essence of this orb.
He'll scramble backwards, and you'll see as the violin clatters to the ground, the bush rising on tendrils that normally aren't used for movement, and it just scrambles back a good 10 foot or so. In this, when you normally hear Boris, you normally hear one voice. Very much different from how some blooms that you may have heard of speak. We speaks mainly in one voice, but can become a cacophony from time to time. Boris tries to keep to one voice constantly, in the same voice. But in this, there's a dozen or so voices that all say slightly disjointed. I seen the... Can I piece together that it was the essence that I seen, or this
Yes.
memory? Okay. I seen his memories. We were there when they died, and there's just about a half dozen conversations happening in between voices, almost as if Boris was talking to himself as a collective of a dozen people or so. And in the next minute, it'll calm down. Voices will drop out of the conversation one by one, and then finally he'll slink over and drag the violin back into the bush. Oren,
Yeah, bud.
when I eat these bodies, I don't have any problems. But I touched that, and he gestures slightly above the corpse. It showed me things.
Don't know. I don't see what you're gesturing to, but are you okay? Are you? What things did it show you?
He'll grabble at the ground a little bit, and then he'll say, I wish I had the paper that the other one carries. It's so hard to describe. Like, we saw his life before his death, and his death. The tendrils point at the body and say, that one died talking about his brother.
Is this a individual that I know of from the town, Ty?
Yeah, his name is Baron. He didn't live too far away from you. He wasn't anyone significant. He was just the boy of like a good worker. The guy would just often do construction and leave his son at home, telling him that he constantly needed to get a job. They were separated from their other family. You don't know the details and significance of that separation, but the boy would constantly sit outside, and you would see him from time to time every now and again while you're in the graveyard, just looking out towards the distance, every now and again just murmuring to himself about some guy named Steven.
That's Baron. I didn't know he had a brother, but he kept talking about an individual named Steve, something along those lines, but that might be his brother. You're saying that you touched something on this person, and you were able to see the moments before their death, and that whenever I performed the burial rites for these individuals, you see a person appear behind me, or near me at some sign. What? This is all just like a huge brain-destroying revelation.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Warren, I'm trying to do my best to tell it as non-meta as possible.
I need to sit down. He's gonna put his shovel against the wall of the grave that he's digging, and like get out of it, and then just go near Boris and sit down with his like knee up so you can have his head in his hand, like his hand is against his knee, propping his head up, just looking out at the graves, thinking about all the times that he's said these, about how the burial rites that he's just been flippant about for the last so many years actually have meaning, and that there's something outside of the mortal coil that you can't see and has effect, that he has some effect on, and just like,
Boris will slump down next to you, and even when he was describing things, he was playing the violin, and ever since he got that scare, he ceases playing, and the eeriness of the quiet when he's there is strange for him, at the very least.
I am just, I'll sit there for a solid 10, maybe 15 minutes before realizing I still have a job to do to make sure that there are not horrors coming around to this area. And he'll be like, all right, well, we'll have to talk about this later. And he'll get back into the grave to finish digging it and continue performing the burial rites with a little bit more oomph behind his words to like belief, like, okay, this actually has something that does than just part of the job.
Boris,
What color was the orb that I touched?
it was like a light grayish blue. It's very faint. There might be some along the fringe elements of like magenta, but that seemed to be only around the more like angrier individuals, and you're not exactly sure why.
Sad or normal?
Oh, the person that you touched? Yeah.
And you said I've seen magenta, and it feels like a light gray magenta, because everything's a little off.
Yeah. Everything's like slightly desaturated, your vision of everything. It's as if the meta-wise, there is something called the Yawning Grave, but it is the dictated will of the Grey itself. There's probably more implications that you'll learn over the course of your journey if you do choose to dive into it and inspect it. But this realm is now parallel to yours, and you're seeing both at once, but more of yours than it. But the effect as to why a lot of people who know a lot about it might call it the Grey is for what you're experiencing right now.
Okay. Whenever he gets the body over there to the grave, sorry. I'll head over with them, and definitely not touching the body. But whenever he gets it in and starts to fill up the grave, I'll take some tendrils and shove some dirt in along with him, and to wait until he starts to say the prayer, and then I'll do my best to improvise a violin song that goes well with the words and say the words myself as well.
Are you slightly stressed at all for any reason?
Slightly stressed? Absolutely.
You find that probably 60% of that begins to subside a little bit deeper into you performing this right.
So I feel better performing this right.
You feel better. I mean, like, if you were scared or nervous about something very pressing, like, you could still be aware that something might be a threat or there's things that need to be worried about. So it's not removed the source, but very much so. You feel like it's not weighing you down as much. If it would be something that would stop you, like a fear, it's much less likely to do so.
Because he just yesterday had the whole I seen death twice.
Oh, for fucking
And
sure.
so
You basically died.
I just died again, quote unquote, died
Yeah.
again. And so, like, yes, there is a lot of stress there.
Understandable. I'm just thinking, like, how many gravediggers are there in the world, and how many pray to Litica? There's not going to be a lot. Not
too
going to be
many.
a lot at
Not
all.
too many. I will tell you, most towns generally they will toss their dead over the walls, and like, while some
Absolutely.
towns, it's like, aren't you worried about that turning into a carrion garden if they even know what those are? And it's just like, no, because like either the Indras will come over and feast on the bodies, or other necrophages will go. Which is why it's so dangerous to go outside, even just initially, because a lot of carrion eaters just survive on the outskirts of towns. As soon as you leave, you're just tackled by like 12 maybe. And just killed right on the spot.
My family might be the only grave-digging people that do this.
Not a common practice. Most graveyards are empty. Most graveyards are empty.
We may be the only people that are praying to this lady entirely.
And because of improper burial rites, those spread a bunch of other types of creatures, and it creates this cyclical spiral.
Litica!
But needed a reason to pray. Boris has definitely got one right now.
I did want to cover at least the intro to the Purveyor.
Just to cap off, I'm going to write up a thing. Anytime death comes up, Boris will always play the same song, and it'll be the song attuned to Warren's right.
I made that shit up. Just like, this looks fine.
No, dude,
Hopefully
you're
it's
spot
not.
on. You're spot on. Yeah, no, you're, because I gave you the lore for
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff, so
Like,
you're,
cool.
yes, you're completely,
Awesome.
Yes,
no, I congratulate you.
Arbiter, I'm ready.
I will speed this up ever so slightly, because I feel like the introduction to you getting to the Seekers Guild is still important, but you will eventually arrive to, and I'm assuming the Nameless One is with you at this point.
Yeah, at this time.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, the nameless one is in tow.
You will
In
arrive
tow?
at the Seekers
Is that the proper term? In tow?
Into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
I'll
the
be
Nameless
there.
One okay to... Do I know that the Nameless One would be okay being around the Seeker?
There
Nameless One seems
isn't
to be
really anything
different.
to say that they wouldn't be.
Yeah. They seem
Yeah.
indifferent.
The Purveyor, like the rules as they go, you guys are protected. Anyone who enters the town, it's a rule of commerce that is probably better to, as long as you don't disrupt the flow of money or spite the Purveyor, you welcome them as family, your transgressions are cleansed. even what you are is ignored so long as you are. Oh yes. Oh yeah, because like if you get on the bad side of reputation, a lot of bad shit can happen, and the way to get a clean slate is quite deadly. So there is a form of clemency that the church has, and a clemency that the purveyor has with his guild of reputation.
Okay.
But you enter into this domicile. It is on the outskirts of the city, kind of upper crust. And you walk in and you see a lot of people of various different type of aesthetics. Like, wayfarers are a cut above normal people. You guys are very odd compared to the rest of humanity. Like, make no mistake, we've seen a lot of weird shit. There's a lot of humans that just exist around your town. You guys are oddities. But very much these guys seem like they're oddities as well. You find people with flesh incredibly pale but sickly, moving glasses just by like moving their fingers towards it. You see people throwing darts with just little care in the world, splitting bullseyes, just cutting whatever they're throwing in half again and again and again, high precision. These individuals seemed highly well suited for whatever the fuck they do, and it seems very much like the air of this place is a guild of sorts. You would eventually ask around about the purveyor, but you do find that there's one person that's highly perceptive and comes to greet you. Their face, the nameless one, and you actually will both see this because you both have sixth sense. You see that there's veins. Oh yeah, you have sixth sense, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You also have a natural 10 for charm proficiency, so you will get this without issue. Okay. This person comes up to you. On the outskirts, they have white hair, they have pale skin, they have bluish eyes, but besides that, they're normal, except for that they're not. The closer that you look at them, you notice that there's veins crawling across their face. Their eyes are darkened, these white yet pinkish dots in each pupil. You hear them mutter to themselves, yes, Framboyo. Yes, Framboyo, yes. The other version of them, as if this illusion is cast atop of them, starts to speak. Are you looking for my master?
There's two versions? What's the second version?
There is a version of them that you see as they are, and then there's this illusory cloak that is around them. To anyone else looking at this person, they are seeing this facade, this person that's talking to them. But the only tangible speak that you hear past this illusion is, yes, Framboyo, yes.
Okay. I will keep myself steeled and say, well, yes, I am. With urgency. Urgency, she says. The vicar coming to the Seekers Guild for urgency. Well, I've not really seen you on our books before. You haven't really done too many works. The bounty board is still full. But yet you seem that you need urgency. I could take you to them, but I need to know a little bit about what you need. You see that the facade begins to grow transparent. The face behind that face. Yes, Framboyo, indeed.
The nameless one is going to write something down in the journal and show it to the vicar, and the word is just pervert ?
Memes. The memes.
I will brush the journal aside for now and say,
The nameless one shrugs. They just shrug and they just like put their journal away.
I say it's of the importance of the town and matters of the church, if you will. I wish to speak of a bridge between the purveyor and I.
All right. Fair enough. He's been urging for just the thing. A little bit in a pickle, I might say. All the while, yes, Framboyo, yes. You see them turn around, and they're putting up a finger, and they're ushering you with a curl. We must go upstairs. Framboyo likes to sit amongst his people. This place is part bar, part patronage to all the people that serve him, and in that case, he likes to reside above. We merely need to step up. There's a spiral staircase in front. Would you like to follow them?
Yes, I will.
So here is where it gets a little bit interesting.
It's not already there.
You walk upstairs and you find that there is a squarish space, a cubish space, and a door. This door is blackened. It's a door, but like it seems to be made of like some ebon wood that you've never really quite seen before. It's not painted. Would you want to open this? They seem to be ushering you towards it very nonchalantly, but you get very odd feels from this door.
What are the odd feels?
You're feeling a form of uncertainty, as if not your soul is being ripped from your body, but something is very odd, and it feels like you're being displaced from your place in existence. You're not exactly sure what or why.
Oh, that's not. Even though I'm unsure, that's not too unfamiliar.
You've had a very similar experience when you're teleporting, because you briefly go to the.
Yeah. I will go through the door then.
The door opens, and you walk into the room. It is a dark expanse. This man is dressed in robes of magenta. He's sitting on a desk, and he's currently filing work. The papers, well, he's looking not exactly happy. In fact, he looks very pissed. The walls are coated in different forms of documentation. These papers, the title of each seem to ever shift, all denoting recent tragedies, the current flow of currency. And for a second, his eyes break from the page. They look towards you. However, that is not exactly all. Your sixth senses, your collective sixth senses, go haywire. So you guys are really well versed with things that are typically imperceptible. Like sometimes cloaked in illusions, sometimes they're invisible curios. But in this case, there is something stronger. A palpable illusion which seems to try to close around you and seal you out of any form of recognition. And yet, after a little bit, you passively pry. It is as if your vision is splitting. And like as you transfix on this individual who's sitting in this cube-esque room that is incredibly normal, you soon realize that there is no man. There is no room. What you're standing in, let me... What you're standing in is something out of existence in a way that you can conceive it. Above you lay bare the stars of creation, the thume of supernovas, and the dust of nebulas. Not too far from you sits a nest. A nest built from encircled arms, ever grasping onto each other. There's an egg nestled within that, right? The shell is so white it can almost blind you, yet there's a specific black dot that sits on its surface. As you get closer, you realize that this hole is quite bigger. There's these long, oily black things which begin to reach beyond its bounds. Just looking at these begin to breach your mind and stir your emotions. The man that you saw before is an illusion that does still reside over the egg, and he seems to be waiting for conversation next time on Harvest.